coming to you with my very first YouTube gun review. The gun that I'm going to bring to you for the first video is going to be one by Taurus. And it is the Taurus G3c in 9mm. And the reason that I'm going to bring this gun to you first is because I've gotten a lot of questions from family and friends about which gun should I buy as my first gun. And they've also made it very clear that they don't want to spend a ton of money. And so this particular gun, I think, will fit that bill. This gun's an actual $300 or a sub $300 gun. It is under the $300 mark. The price tag on this gun at my dealer was $269. After taxes, I paid about $291. So it was pretty much, well under the $300 mark, which is appealing to a lot of people out there, especially a lot of first-time and new gun owners. And you guys all know with what's going on now, the gun sales have gone through the roof. So we have a lot of brand new gun owners, which is fantastic here in this country. So I wanted to bring a gun that would be appealing to those folks, as well as those that have multiple guns like myself. I'm going to start by just kind of talking a little bit about this gun. And I'm going to be referring to my notes on this gun periodically, but I just want to make sure I get all the information to you guys that I possibly can. So this gun is a striker fired pistol, and the magazine is going to hold 12 rounds. So you have a 12 plus 1 capacity on this gun, which is nice. This gun actually fits into the compact category. So those of you that are looking to conceal carry, this might fit the bill for you. It's not extremely small. It's not a subcompact pistol, but it is a compact pistol, and it's a great size for concealed carry. So just a couple of specs, a couple basic specs on this gun. Again, it's 9mm Luger with a 12 round capacity magazine, and the barrel is 3.1 inches long. The overall length of this gun is 6.3 inches. And whenever it is empty, it weighs 22 ounces. And I myself put 12 Federal HSTs, 124 grain bullets inside of this gun, which gave it a weight of 28 ounces. So it's not too heavy. It is a gun that I think is large enough to help you manage recoil and things like that, but not overly large in the hand. So that's one of the great things about this gun. So if we take a look at when you purchase the gun, it comes in a cardboard box, and I think many of the Taurus pistols come in a cardboard box. Nothing fancy. Maybe this is a way that they keep the cost down, but nothing fancy, but it works. So if we take a second and we look inside of the box, you'll find a few things. Obviously, the gun would be inside of the box. The owner's manual is inside of the box. And also, you get 3 magazines with this pistol. So as you see here, there are 2 magazines, one that's empty, one that's loaded, and then the one that is in the gun is unloaded, as well as the gun itself is unloaded. So you get 3 magazines with this gun, 3 still magazines, which I found to be impressive, particularly for a gun that is a sub $300 gun. Many of the guns that you pay that amount for, you only get 1 magazine that comes with it. Also inside the box, you'll find your typical gun lock. So if you utilize these, you obviously will get one of these in the package as well. Okay, so I'm going to move the box out of the way here. All right, moving right along. If you look at the pistol from the top down, you're going to notice, starting with the slide, you're going to notice that it is a matte black tinnifer finish, which is good for resistance of corrosion. The matte black obviously is not going to be shiny like some of your other coatings of some of the other guns, like maybe a Gen 4, a Gen 5 Glock, maybe even the 6 Sauer and some of the others. This matte black is not shiny, which is kind of good in some cases as far as reducing glare and things like that. Also, if you look here at the top at the breech, there is a window that is placed there. That's there so that you can quickly look to see if there is a round in the chamber. So it is basically a indicator of whether or not the gun is actually chambered or not. So it's a quick peek, which is can come in very handy. All right. Also, you'll notice that the barrel itself and the breech itself are stainless steel in comparison to the black or the matte black finish that's on the slide itself. As far as sights are concerned, one nice thing about the sights on this particular pistol is that they are steel sights. They're not crappy plastic sights, which like Glock gives you. They're actually steel sights. The front sight is just a plain white dot, no tritium insert or anything like that, no fiber optic, just a plain white dot on that front sight. And then that back sight, the rear sight, is blacked out, so there are no dots or anything like that on that part of the rear sight. And the rear sight also has some serrations so that it reduces glare as well. Me personally, this is the first pistol that I've ever had with just plain blacked out rear sights. I know a lot of people are big fans of that contrast between the front sight and a plain blacked out rear sight, because you can pick that front sight up rather quickly when looking through the blacked out rear sight. So that to me is a benefit. I've never had one, like I said, that I've owned that had that, and I do kind of like it. So I might be actually running that on some of the other pistols that I have in the future. Also, moving down on the slide, you'll notice that there are serrations on the slide. There are rear serrations, and there are also a few front serrations. Some people like to use the front serration so that they can run a press check on the pistol very quickly, very easily. Me personally, I don't typically run a press check using the front serrations or the front of the gun at all. If I do it, I typically will use the rear serrations. So that's a personal preference. So to each, to each their own. Also, notice on this particular firearm, on this G3c, you'll see that the Taurus is actually whited out, and so is the 3C on the other side. They're whited out. They don't come that way. I actually did that myself. Sometimes I like to do that with some of my pistols. I'll use whiteout just to kind of give it a little extra pop. So that's a personal preference as well. Some people like that, and others, like to keep their guns completely black. So that was just a personal preference for me. So moving down from the slide on down to the frame, there are a couple of things here that I'll mention. One is on the left side of the gun, there is a manual safety. And that manual safety allows you to flick it up for safe. And then the red dot is now being covered by the safety. But once you move it down, that red dot appears, and now you are ready to fire. Off to the left of the manual safety is the slide release button. Both of these two are made of metal, so they're going to last longer than some of your other pistols that may have these controls in plastic. Also, to the left of those two controls, you'll find the takedown lever, which we'll talk about the takedown and the fill stripping of this pistol as we move along. All right, moving right along. If we move to the left a little bit further over, you'll notice that this pistol actually comes with a rail, which allows you to attach an accessory to this pistol. So if you wanted to add something like a quick laser, a small laser, you could do so. You could attach that right to the rail. If you wanted to add something else like a light, you have that option. So right here I have an Olight Mini 2, which I think fits perfectly on this pistol. Very easy to attach and detach, and you have a light for your pistol. So I think that is also a benefit. Not all of the sub 300 guns actually have a rail that's built there as well to attach those accessories. So that's a great feature. So if we move right down alongside the gun, you'll notice that right here, right at the very top of the grip, there is a cutout. It's kind of like a little scallop. That actually is a nice little spot for your thumb if you're shooting one-handed, whether you be right-handed or left-handed, because that scallop appears on both sides of the gun. So as you move down the gun a little bit, you'll notice that the texturing that is on this handle is kind of a sandpaper texturing. And I have to note that it's pretty aggressive. So when you're holding that pistol, I think it will stay in your hand even if your hand is wet. The likelihood of it slipping out is probably very, very low. But I will caution you that if you have smaller hands, if you're a person with smaller hands, you might find the texturing to be a little bit overly aggressive and therefore cause some discomfort as you're shooting. So I think part of the solution to that is just making sure you have a really firm grip so that that gun is not moving up and down, in and out of your palm, the palm of your hand. All right. So if you move a little bit further down, you'll notice that there's another scallop at the very bottom of the handle where it meets the base plate. This allows for ripping the magazine out. If you have one that's stuck, it makes pulling the magazine out of the handle or out of the pistol much easier. So that's a nice little touch there at the bottom. The base plate itself gives you that extra length so that if you have large hands, I have fairly large hands, that you can get a full grip on the pistol. I like this because many of the compact and subcompact guns that I've shot over the years don't allow me to get that full grip. And I'm a person who really likes to have the full grip on their pistol when they're shooting it. So that allows me to get that full grip. So I'll definitely say that's a plus or a benefit to me. Right to the right of the trigger guard, the trigger guard, there is the magazine release button. Not an oversized magazine release button, but a medium-sized one. Nothing to write home about, just an easy access. And I can access it pretty quickly with my right hand, my right thumb. So, like I said, not an overly large button. Could have been a little bit bigger, but not too bad. So that's how that is. Also, if you look here at the trigger itself, you'll notice that the trigger has a lever in the middle of it, very similar to Glocks and some of the other pistols that you might see out there, like some of the XDS pistols from Springfield, and that kind of serves as a safety. In order to depress the trigger, you have to have a firm grip that actually allows you to depress this lever that's in the middle. So that's a safety mechanism, which is also very good. All right, so taking this weapon apart for cleaning is very simple. Field stripping is very, very simple with this gun. The first thing you're going to do is remove the magazine and lock the slide back. Once the slide is locked back, you're going to grip the gun so that you can pull the slide slightly back, and you're going to pull the takedown notches on both sides down, and you're going to let the slide go. Then you have to pull the trigger, which I'm not a big fan of with takedown guns. I know Glocks, you have to do that. Not a very big fan of that, but you do have to pull the trigger. Once you do that, you'll see that the slide moves forward just a little bit, and you just pull it right off of the frame. And once you've done that, you can remove the recoil spring and the barrel. All right, and then you can clean inside of the slide as well as the barrel and the recoil spring and the frame itself, inside of the frame itself. So once you're all done cleaning, putting it back together is pretty much the reverse of that. You're going to insert the barrel first, recoil spring second, and you're going to slide the slide back on the frame, right on the rails. All right, and you're ready to go. All right, so my final thoughts on the Taurus G3c 9mm. I'm going to say that this pistol, again, as I said at the beginning of the review, this pistol really surprised me when I took it to the range. When I first bought it, and just kind of part of it, I think, being the price point itself, just kind of made me a little skeptical. And like I said, the feel of it, the fit and finish isn't quite the same as you might feel in some of your more expensive firearms. But so some of those things I think altogether kind of gave me a little bit of a feeling of skepticism when it came to this pistol. However, when I took it to the range and I actually shot it, it actually felt really good in my hands. The ergonomics of this pistol is really comfortable. And like I said earlier in the video, I can get a full grip on this compact pistol, which made it a little bit easier for me to, control the recoil. That along with the aggressive texturing that's on the handle. So again, I'm going to give this pistol a thumbs up simply because for the money, you can't beat it. I mean, this is a sub 300 pistol that comes with 3 steel magazines, that has a nice finish on it, that has a rail on it that you can add accessories to it, has steel sight well. So again, I think this is a great first-time buyer's gun. I think it's a nice gun for somebody who wants to keep a gun in their truck, or a person who has multiple guns and just want to add a Taurus to their collection. Quite a few folks that could benefit from buying this particular gun. Now, in comparison to some of the guns like this is my actual carry gun. It is a 6 Sauer 320X compact. And this gun, to me, is my favorite all-time carry gun that I've owned so far, just because the fit and finish is just so nice. It shoots extremely well. It absorbs recoil very, very well. So in comparison to this, if I had to choose between the two, obviously I'm going to choose the SIG. The SIG is going to cost you upwards near $1,000 if you get it with the red dot, the Romeo 1 Pro red dot on it. If you get it without it, it's going to be a little less. But I'll do a whole nother review on this gun at a later date. So that's where I am with this particular pistol. One other thing I like to do with my pistols is I like to pair them up with a knife, because I am a knife guy as well. I love a good knife. Keeping with the theme of inexpensive, I figured I'd pull out one of my knives that I think pairs up very well with the Taurus G3c, and it is the Spyderco Tenacious. And the Spyderco Tenacious is a pocket knife that I think is very well made, as all Spyderco products are. But also, in addition to that, you can get it for between $40 and $50 at either Walmart or Amazon or Blade HQ or Knife Center or any of those other places that you frequently find knives. So there you have it. Nice knife to pair up with this Taurus pistol. So if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. I'm going to be bringing more content to you in the very near future. Again, thanks for riding along with me on this one. And if you have comments or questions, please put it in the comment section. All right? See you in a second.